So I love the start in Mexico. There's always so much drama. 830 metres to the first corner, and it is not even easy from the front row. So Lando Norris makes it look easier than usual, though. Gets a good start. You've got the two Ferraris just behind, and you're all now looking for a slipstream on this long run. You can see Norris has checked out. He's got a great launch, and that should be easy, but it's not. What it does mean is he gets the chance to cover the inside line. So if we pause it here, that's not a great place to pause it. Let's pause it there. You've got Lewis Hamilton almost being boxed in behind Norris. So Leclerc here has a couple of options. Does he keep Hamilton boxed in, or does he shift across and start to squeeze Verstappen, who's roaring from 5th place down the outside line? And he chooses the latter. So he opens the door for Hamilton to come through the middle. Verstappen is then out on the curb, and he is not going to stop that and heads right out for the boonies to the barrier. You've got loads of drivers cutting through this first corner as well. Some drivers not very happy about it, but we've got Charles Leclerc is going to cut through. From there, you've got Kimi Antonelli is going to cut through. Verstappen is obviously going to cut through. And you've got two more further back out of shot, Carlos Sainz and Liam Lawson. But fundamentally, Norris has done this absolutely perfectly, got the launch, covered the inside, and from there, he wasn't going to be passed. Hamilton's done well to get the space. Leclerc was in a bit of a tight spot with Verstappen attacking and Hamilton attacking, and he is going to cut through there and chooses late on to not make the corner. And that is our other two coming through, Sainz and Lawson, and a bit of contact between those two as well. We'll get into that one later on. So we have a question on this as well, which is why didn't Leclerc get a penalty for not giving the position back to Lewis? It's a good question, and I don't have the answer. So let's have a look with this reverse angle, because I think it becomes more clear-cut here that Hamilton should have that place, second position, because of the way here that Charles gives Hamilton the space. Verstappen is then going to have a squeeze. At the moment, Max is looking like he's going to have a clear launch down the outside. Remember, he's on a medium tyre, so it's a particularly decent start. But in the end, we get 4 wide. You've got the two Ferraris neck and neck. You've got Verstappen, so ambitious, out wide onto the curb. It's the first race he's not led out of the first corner since 2019 here. He's got astonishing form, and as a result, a lot of confidence to go and attack this first corner. You can actually see Hamilton is marginally ahead of Charles Leclerc before the braking zone. So it's just a nose in front, but I would say the Ferrari on the left is ahead of the Ferrari on the right. We come through the corner, so if we ignore Verstappen now, who's never going to make it stop from that outside line, we come through the corner, and now Charles is in a real squeeze here. We've had contact in the past before with Perez, Leclerc, and Verstappen. This time it's Hamilton, Leclerc, and Verstappen. And they managed to get through. Max doesn't turn in. He can't turn in. So now Lewis has definitely got the second place. He's ahead of Charles, who is coming through. He's got space to stay on the track, should he wish to stay on the track. But he's also chosen to go wide at this point, realises that you can just cut through. He's done it before at the first corner and gets away with it. Behind, you've got Antonelli going to do the same thing from side by side with Russell. Piastri's going to go deep as well, but try his best to stay on the track, whereas others won't. And Leclerc, from behind Hamilton, chooses to go off the road. He's not forced off by Lewis. You can see the space that Lewis leaves on the exit. Goes straight across. The safest thing to do at this point is to absolutely floor it, rejoin in the lead, and choose who you're going to let pass. Basically, be your own judge at this point. And as we play it through, Charles lets Lando go through, but does not let Lewis go through. It should be a penalty. It should be a slam dunk. I can only assume the stewards saw 5 cars go through, absolute melee. You've even got Franco Colapinto at the back of the field having a spin. You've got contact. You've got debris on the circuit. Marshals needed to retrieve it, which was another sketchy condition that we had early on in the race. And I can only assume the stewards just thought Ferrari side by side. They emerged second and third. But the reality is here, Charles Leclerc overtook Lewis Hamilton off the track, and he should have had a penalty for it.
It's 800 metres down to turn 1, and the Ferraris are very close. Lewis Hamilton pinched to the inside. Hamilton tried to attack. Watch Max Verstappen, who's on the outside, who's locking up, who's going deep and off the road. On the racetrack, Lando Norris keeps the lead. It was a wild start to this one as they reclaim the lead. Over the road went Max Verstappen, over the road went Charles Leclerc.
Let's have a look at another couple of views of this start, because I love a 4-wide start into the first corner. It's the best you can get in Formula One, especially 3 different teams, title protagonists as well, loads at stake. But this one will give us a shot of Max Verstappen, who looked like for a moment he was going to get the space. But I have to say, it was always ambitious and it was always likely to be closed off on that outside line. It is closed off, and you can just see, if you watch the Red Bull, as soon as he gets over that curb now, you can see the floor striking out with some sparks, and that is now the underside just hitting the raised curbs, so he's not got the tyres perfectly in contact with the asphalt. He's now missing basically a load of grip. He can't slow the car, and that is why you can just see him surfing on that curb, lock up, but he just is out of control at that moment. It's so dusty off the line, and that then is Verstappen off. Let's have a look at a couple of onboards. First of all, George Russell fuming at what went on at the first corner, thought it was outrageous. I have to say, I don't like to see 5 cars cutting the first corner. I would like to see this change for next year, a natural deterrent, because over the years, drivers look back, they watch the old races and they think, oh, just cut that. No one ever gets a penalty for it. We've seen the leader do it. We've seen drivers coming through, and as Charles Leclerc did, give back a position for second place. It's the safest thing to do. There's no risk in cutting the grass. So that's why you've now got drivers in their heads thinking, I'll attack, just hope it sticks, and if it doesn't, I'll cut the corner and keep my position, or even gain a position. In the case of Charles Leclerc, Russell's on the soft tyres, starting from the dirty side of the grid. I don't think he's got a leg to stand on. As much as I don't like to see drivers cutting the corner, he is very clearly in 5th position as we head towards the braking zone. I think he was particularly perturbed that Verstappen, who started behind him, was braking so late and gaining the position. But I think Max was ahead into the corner. Credit to George for keeping it on the track. You can see how dirty it is off the line as well. He does keep it on the track. At this moment, it looks like it might be P3, but it's never going to stick because there's one Ferrari, there's a Red Bull, and there is a Mercedes as well. He's going to get Antonelli's place back. But frustrating for Russell. I think the problem for him was in that initial launch. And let's watch again, because Verstappen's is quite something at the start. On that medium tyre, you wonder if he'd started on the soft, if he could have done something magnificent with that extra bit of grip off the line. But as it is, on the medium, he's got a chance. At this point, it looks like it's going to open up, but he's always driving in this slight direction towards that outside curb, and you're never going to be afforded a lot of space. So it's an incredibly risky move. He does get shuffled out to the curb. We've seen him already skating over the top of it. But what I love here is the car control. And it looks so cool from Verstappen, who's heading so far out wide. I've never seen anyone just legitimately hit that barrier. But look how long and how aggressively he is turning to the left here. I mean, this is some sublime car control there. That is Verstappen on full opposite lock, drifting it, the barrier fast approaching, and he's just holding it like Speedway. But you never sense that he panicked, and he comes back on with not even a metre to the wall, and then remembers where he was, 4th in the queue, gives up the place to Hamilton through the next corner as well. So it's pretty impressive stuff there from Verstappen, albeit ambitious and albeit not actually paying off for his race. The final view is with Lewis Hamilton then, just to really show how this one came about. He could be boxed in here. Leclerc opens the door. Hamilton then has a chance to come through. You can see he's ahead of Leclerc at this moment. Comes through, makes it cleanly on the track, has actually given a lot of space to his teammate as well on the exit, so he deserves to be second. Probably didn't need to be trying to look around the outside of Norris there for turn 2, but didn't make a difference. Should have had second place.
I hated every meters of that first corner. I mean, obviously there was the start, which wasn't a great one. Strangely, that kind of helped me because I don't think Lando would have came back to the right if I had a good start. So luckily I could have a slipstream. But then, yeah, after that I was just a passenger trying to defend my place. I think Lewis didn't especially knew that there was Max on the outside of me, and that created, I mean, everything was super tight. But yeah, luckily my race or Lewis's race actually didn't end up here, because I really thought it would.
Good run to turn 1, but then, I mean, there were too many cars, so you just have to try and avoid everything, and I had to go onto the curb and you bottom, so yeah, that was tough. I avoided going into the wall through the grass, and then found my position again, and then basically tried to just do the race. Yeah, the beginning was very hectic.
Yeah, I struggle to understand how 3 drivers can just cut the first corner and continue it. It punishes the drivers who have driven correctly, and if you can risk everything with no downside, that's what drivers are going to do, and it's always been the case here in Mexico.